back with another video after yet another 5 months. Honestly, I want to say it's been probably about a year or so since I make a video about the hatchback. So this is going to be a 3-part series where, you know, I talk about what I've done to the hatch over the last year. Almost 2 years now that I've owned it. I just haven't really made that many videos. I was more focused on, oh, you know, let me get it modified, and I wanted to make videos, but I always caught myself in either tight time frame or, you know, I just never really had the time to record the videos. A year and a half, almost 2 years into ownership of the car, and a year since, maybe even a little more than a year since my last video about the hatch, where I wasn't even really talking about what I've done to it, if I recall correctly. I'm gonna make this three-part series, and this first part is going to be about basically the performance aspect of the car. After I talk about the performance aspect, the next video is going to be about suspension and chassis bracing and all sorts of different stuff like that. And then the third part and final part, that's gonna be more miscellaneous stuff: tires, brakes, little details, visual, interior, stuff like that. So in this one specifically, the first part, we're gonna talk about performance mods: intake, exhaust setup, engine throttle controller, why I have a check engine light, because yes, I have a check engine light. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead, and I'm recording off of my Galaxy S20, so I really hope the camera quality is good. Go ahead and start with the engine throttle controller. It's basically like a pedal commander. If you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen those advertisements all over the place. Pedal commander, basically it just plugs into your pedal down there, or well, this is the same thing. It plugs into the pedal down there. It's got a little controller box that I hid inside this little kick panel down here, and then basically I ran this wire up through the dash, and I put it on here with some sticky double-sided 3M tape. And basically what it does is it changes the sensitivity of the throttle. So Sport 6 is what I use for daily driving. I'm gonna go ahead and show you normal mode. I'm just gonna blip the throttle. We're gonna go over into eco mode, which I never use eco mode, but, and then we're gonna go back into sport. It was very little difference. If you pay attention, you can tell the eco was a little lower when I blipped it, and the sport was a little higher when I blipped it. It went a little over $2,000 in sport when I just blipped it, compared to right under $2,000 in normal mode. So it might not seem like a big difference here now, but in the long run, you know, when you're driving, trying to get up to speed, throwing through the gears, does make a difference. It has a launch mode for, you know, when you go to race at the track like a responsible person. And, you know, I've driven it on Sport 9. For me, Sport 9 is just way too touchy. Sport 5, Sport 6, that's like the sweet spot for daily driving. And yeah, I mean, it was a little expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but if I remember, I think it was like 180, something like that. I don't remember the price exactly. If you guys have any questions about this or anything else in this video, you guys can just drop a comment down below. I usually respond pretty quickly. Sometimes I take it a little longer. It just depends on, you know, my workload and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely worth it in my opinion. CVT or manual transmission, it'll just improve your throttle response from that laggy garbage that comes from factory. So as far as my check engine light, the reason I have my check engine light is because of the headers. The headers I'll show you in a minute, they're from 2J Racing. The reason I have the check engine light is because when I replaced the headers, I removed the primary cat, or catalytic converter. And even though I have a spacer on my secondary O2 sensor, it still gives me a P0420 code for the check engine. That is the only code that it throws, Each time I've read it with my code reader, it's the same code, P0420, P0420. I've tried the relearning process through TechStream. I've tried like 3 or 4 different spacers. I really haven't had any luck with getting rid of this check engine light. I think my only hope would be wait for some tuning software and request to have the option to disable the P0420 code specifically. Cross that bridge when we get there. As of right now, there is no tuning available. January 19th, 2021. There is no tuning available yet. SOL, I gotta stick with the check engine light. I got used to it. The only thing I can't use is cruise control. That doesn't bother me. I don't really use cruise control like that. I only drive the car on the weekends and like maybe once or twice throughout the week to the gym or to a car meet or something. So everything else in the car works. If I press back, I can still access my multi-information display. You know, I can access all my settings. The only thing is, you know, once I leave it alone for a little bit, it'll show me the temperature real quick, and then it'll pop back the check engine light, or that little message. So that's that for the inside. Let me pop the hood and we'll go. Okay, so actually we're gonna start off in the back. Excuse the car, it's really dirty. So if you guys recall, on one of my last videos, I had just a muffler delete. The exhaust sounded a lot louder at idle. Well, that changed when I put the headers on. After I put the headers on, it just got too loud, and I just really didn't want to deal with that. So what I did was I went to the exhaust shop, and you know, I kept my 3.5-inch tips, 2.5-inch piping, but I added 2 MagnaFlows to the back, and it just has this nice deep aggressive tone now. The rest of the setup is the same as I showed you guys in a previous video, I believe, where I did the cat delete. So right now I have the 2 MagnaFlows here. I have a MagnaFlow where the OEM resonator was, and a Vibrant resonator where the secondary count was. So it's all 2.5-inch piping. So I'm pretty sure I covered that in the last video, but just in case, I covered it again. Let's go over to the front. This we're going to cover in the suspension video. So here we have the engine intake. Nothing special, really easy to install. There's other options in the market now that the chassis has been out for about 3 years on this platform. But this was the only intake that was available when I bought the car. So obviously, me being the person I am, I want to modify my car. I went ahead and bought the engine intake. There's a few more now. There's AEM, there's HPS, there's another one, I forgot the name of it. But you know, you can check the pages and stuff. And there's definitely a lot more options now if you don't choose to go with the engine. I haven't had any problems with the engine. The install was really simple. The instructions were really straightforward. I wish I would have had time to make a video of the install, but unfortunately that was one of the videos that I didn't get to make because of time restrictions. But like I said, these all pop off really easily. It's all 10mm bolts and stuff. Super easy to clamp down. Everything is plug and play pretty much. They supply all hardware, everything you need. And then, so if we go back here, I'm hoping we can see the headers. There we go, kind of. Kind of see it from back here, kind of can't. I think it's about as good as we're gonna get. Yeah, it's really hard to get to the headers back there. But you can kind of peep them through here. Yeah, that's about as good as of a visual that I'm gonna get. I have pictures and, like, you know, close-up pictures of when my buddy Christian installed them for me. So shout out to him for the help. He's been a big part in this build. as far as helping me with stuff that I haven't had the tools or time to install. He's been the go-to guy for me. Only one to put his hands on this car besides me. The headers, I mean, they went on fine. Everything tightened up properly. And I mean, I'm gonna stick the GoPro on the back real quick in just a second. And I'll let you guys get a listen to it. And that'll wrap up the video for this section, this first section of the video. And, you know, you guys can let me know what you think down below. I have my Instagram in the description as well. You guys can go check out my Instagram. I mean, listen to that. Nice and quiet. But it's got like a nice rumble to it. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put the GoPro on now. Go for a little spin, and I'll end off the video with that. And you guys can let me know what you think.